Might have to tow it on this one. Good. He said do it just right. Have you ever had one of those moments in life when you think to yourself, well, I done messed this one up pretty good? Well, this was one of those moments for me. Let's take a moment though to talk about this one because there's certainly a lesson to be learned here. As Pete said in his video, there's nothing more dangerous than being flushed through a tree on a river. The short version of the story was that I should have taken the time to get out of my boat and pull it around this hazard safely and beyond my way. I saw the hazard, recognized the danger, but did it anyway.
You chose poorly.
What had happened was that I had watched 3 of my good friends navigate this hazard first. While I hadn't been the poster child for good kayaking technique, we were 5 days into a 7-day trip, and I felt like I knew myself, and I knew my boat well enough to manage it. As I enter the chute, you can see that I'm giving lots of input on the right side, trying to slow down my forward momentum. Right here is where the left forward strokes should have come in and kept my boat turning to the right and following the current down the side of the log. As you can see though, I pulled off what's known as a G.I. Joe maneuver and simply let the river do whatever it wanted with me. With my lack of aggressive input, the inevitable happened and I found myself pinned against the log. While I knew I was in a bad spot, at this point I still felt like this was something I could recover from. My plan was to edge my boat against the current and slowly push myself down the side of the log. As you can see, we weren't dealing with a super strong current, but I learned that day not to underestimate the river, no matter how gentle she looks. Within a second of making contact with the log, I could slowly feel my boat being pulled underwater, despite all of my efforts to maintain control with my upstream edge. At this point, I knew I had lost control, and the reality was setting in that I was in a situation that all river runners will tell you to avoid at all costs. The list of things that can go wrong here is very long. My boat could have gotten pinned underwater with me in it, and I wouldn't have been able to pop my skirt and do a wet exit. I could have gotten tangled in branches underwater, all while fighting the seemingly gentle current that had pushed my 14.5-foot loaded kayak underwater like it was a bath toy. With all this in mind, I made the decision to tuck and go for a ride, knowing that I was losing the fight to stay upright. I'm a firm believer that everyone has a day when they're destined to meet the big guy upstairs, but today wasn't that day for me. Miraculously, there was nothing to keep me or the boat underwater, and both of us flushed right under the log and out into free-flowing water. The situation resolved itself nearly as quickly as it had begun, but it was a sobering moment, with everyone in the group knowing that we had gotten away with one today. So let's just watch everything again in real time, just to get an appreciation for how quickly things can go south, and how good decisions on the front end can prevent potentially catastrophic consequences. Grab my paddle. Now that was a swimmer. I had the log and I was trying to lean up and I was just like,
You look at me like,
uh-oh.
I knew that it was
Like there was plenty of room to flush out.
If you're gonna be a swimmer, let's do it right. Let's go under a log, holy sweet molasses.
So that's all I have. I hope you learned something from this video, like I learned that day on the river. There's good reason to give fallen debris a wide berth on the water. While I'm sure this video may spark plenty of conversation, I hope that my experience will help others make better choices when you're out there. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you out there.